Shalom Rubashkin is not guilty. A Blackhawk County jury returned that verdict today on dozens of charges of child labor violations.
The state trial against the former manager of the agro-processors meatpacking plant lasted more than a month. The jury returned not guilty verdicts for all 67 counts against Rubashkin. The violations involved 26 teenagers from Guatemala and Mexico. Those agro-processors plant there in Postville. Immigration agents arrested 389 illegal workers at the plant in May of 2008, sparking the federal case. The state one had already been going on. So how did the jury come to this decision?
Well, reporter Jeff Reinitz of the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier was in court for much of the trial. He joins us tonight on Newsline 9. And Jeff, I imagine the atmosphere for the defense in the courtroom was really exuberant today when that verdict was read.
Yeah, it took maybe a second or two for it to sink in. There were some smiles, not a lot of shouting and everything, but the defense was pleased with the verdict.
Certainly. How was the defense able to get this verdict? Of course, Shalom Rubashkin already found guilty on federal fraud charges, but then to have all of these child labor law, the state case, all just a big acquittal. How did the defense get to this point?
The defense brought up a number of things. I talked with one of the jurors afterwards, and he pointed out that of the minors that testified that had worked at the plant, all of them had applied using identification, falsified documents that made them 18 or older to hold the job. I think that weighed a lot in the defense's favor. Plus, there was some testimony that in 2007, the plant officials had fired 3 or 4 miners that had discovered working at the plant. So I think those things kind of made an impression on the jury.
Well, we thank you, reporter Jeff Reinitz of the Waterloo Courier, for joining us today. He was in the courtroom during that trial, and the Iowa Attorney General's office also issued its response to today's verdict. Its statement said, "There were scores of children working on the floor of the slaughterhouse, and we alleged Rubashkin ignored his obligation to do something about it." The statement continued saying, "But the jury found reasonable doubt. We respect the process, and the jury has the final say." To read the full statement and for a timeline of events in the Rubashkin case, that's the state case, go to kcrg.com. Now again, Rubashkin faces sentencing for a federal conviction. In November, a federal jury found him guilty on 86 federal counts of fraud stemming from the immigration raid in 2008. Prosecutors want the judge to give him 25 years in prison for that. That sentencing is scheduled for June 22nd.